Yeah, Steve and Mary, the stabbing victim who died at the hospital was a well-known chef on Capitol Hill. We also obtained the charging documents where prosecuting attorneys allege this tragedy all spurred when the victim brushed past his alleged attacker on an escalator. A brawl on the Link light rail platform turned into a terrifying scene of violence surrounded by dozens of witnesses. New surveillance video shows an argument between two men led to a confrontation involving three people before fists fly.
You never know, some people are be doing unsafe stuff on the trains.
It happens once in a while. I wish it didn't, and we need to make a change on that, have more security around.
At one point, one man reaches into his pocket, and we've frozen the clip before he's seen making multiple stabbing motions. Charging documents identify the victim as 37-year-old Corey Evan Bellett, who then fell onto the train tracks.
I was literally right here when it happened.
Dominic Strezabosco is among the regular riders who say it's incidents like this one that, while rare, do make him stay aware on public transit.
I do feel like it is a good mode of transportation. You just have to be aware and kind of ignore the weird stuff that happens, because there is a lot of weird stuff.
In response, a Sound Transit spokesperson writes the agency has 550 security officers system-wide, a bike unit, and a 24/7 team that can get to the scene of an incident quickly. The suspect ran away and was later identified as Shawn Patrick Moore after his eventual arrest. Moments later, Bellett is seen pulling himself up from the tracks but moves out of frame, and eventually police block off that section of the platform. And U.S. Marshals did help arrest Moore 2 days after the attack, and they arrested him in Eatonville. He eventually pled not guilty to his charges for second-degree murder and intimidating a witness. Officials tell us that witness is believed to be the man shown in that initial confrontation before it became physical. Of course, we will keep you updated as this story develops. For now, live in Seattle, Jackie Kent, KOMO News.
We start with this tonight. New video that we've just obtained shows the aftermath of a deadly stabbing at a Link light rail station along Broadway East on Seattle's Capitol Hill. This attack happened back in May, and the victim was identified as Corey Bellett. He was a chef at a Capitol Hill restaurant. Jackie Kent joins us tonight. So, Jackie, it's been nearly 2 months now since that stabbing. Do we know what led up to that deadly attack yet?
Yeah, and Steve, this was a really horrific attack captured on that surveillance video. We also obtained the charging documents that give us a better idea what happened. And those documents claim that this tragedy really spurred when the victim brushed past his alleged attacker on the escalator. And then we see in that video they eventually move down to the platform by the trains. That's when there is a verbal confrontation that turns into fists flying, pulled hair, some slaps, and then at one point, one man reaches into his pocket, we can imagine, to pull out a weapon. It's those charging documents that explain that man is pulling out a sharp blade, and we've frozen the video before we see multiple stabbing motions, and the victim even falls onto the tracks. And the charging documents identify that man, as you mentioned, as 37-year-old Corey Bellett. He did eventually pull himself up back off the tracks, but then the suspect ran away.
The video is really hard to watch, Jackie, even though we did pause it right before that stabbing happened. What's happening with the man that was arrested in connection to that stabbing?
Yeah, that process is still ongoing. We know that after you saw in the video, he ran away. It was 2 days later the U.S. Marshals helped arrest him in another city. That was in Eatonville 2 days after the attack. Prosecutors now saying they believe the suspect's girlfriend lived there, so they were able to track him down. He was charged with second-degree murder and threatening a witness. He pleaded not guilty to both of those charges in court, currently being held on a $3 million bond. In terms of that threatening a witness charge, prosecutors believe that witness is one of the three men we see at the beginning of that video involved in that initial verbal confrontation. So, of course, Steve, we're continuing to follow this story as it develops, and we'll let you know when he makes his next court appearance as well.
Yeah, certainly more to come. Jackie Kent, thank you for joining us tonight here on ARC Seattle.